Hi, Vijay. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see some of the updates that you've had in your platform only in the last 6 weeks or so. Because I know we did a kind of a live stream or recorded session at least to get some information out there on the Powerops tool. And since then you've kind of taken a lot of the or some of the elements of the service and basically packaged it into a desktop app. So I'm excited to see how that can be used kind of locally and just against some of the PBIX files or PBIP files, better said, that people might have and want to either review or compare.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we've been using PowerUp SaaS earlier. So we have launched PowerUp SaaS that was in beta. So now we are back with PowerUps Desktop, so which will be an external tool for Power BI developers to start using it.
Absolutely, and I think to get started, just for people who may not be familiar with either the tool or yourself, do you want to give a little background on who you are, and then we can get started with kind of reviewing the tool.
Sure. So I'm Vijay Hemantha. So I run the company called Truviz. So we are primarily based on New York and New Jersey. So we serve the clients across the US. So we are in the field of business intelligence and analytics side. So we have over 20 years of experience in the analytics industry side. So we build and implement the solutions for various clients across US. So that's the background.
Excellent. No, thank you so much. And I know a lot of people often like to just to kind of get in the demo. So if you're ready to go, we can kind of flip over to your screen once you're ready and get started.
Sure. Sounds good. Okay. Okay, I just have a few slides to skim through, so then we can get started with the demo.
Mhm.
So the company behind PowerOps is Truviz, so which is the company that I run. So where we are a Microsoft partner, so we have over 500 customers today, and also we build the solutions and tools that supercharge us, like both Microsoft Fabric and Power BI developers and users do. Right now we have our tools where we producing two tools so far. One is the Power Viz, which is the custom visual solutions, and our the most famous one is the PowerOps, where we
Mhm.
provided a SaaS platform so far, which analyze, optimize, and best practices for different reports and models. So that's the background, and we're also certified by SVC. So if somebody's worried about the data security, so that clarifies that. And let's go to the next slide. So what is PowerOps? So PowerOps, in a single line, it says like, so as it's a single platform to seamlessly analyze, compare, optimize, version control, and deploy your Power BI reports and models. It's a end-to-end CI/CD platform for your Power BI reports and models. So that's the definition of PowerOps. Right.
Yes.
So we offer two variants today in PowerOps. So one is the PowerOps Desktop, which we are launching now. So which is right now it's a waitlist, which I'm going to demo it now in this call. So it's an external tool where you can analyze, compare, and best practices for reports and models. Whereas we have a SaaS product also that we are already in a beta a couple of months ago. So that's an end-to-end platform. So it also has version control, CI/CD, where you can track history and rollback and automated deployments as well. It's an end-to-end platform. So that you can try even today. So that's you can register and try it out. All right.
And I'll throw the
So
link for
let's
the people in the chat too, just so they can go check it out.
Sure, that would be helpful. And yeah, so let's talk about Powerops Desktop. So Powerops Desktop is as I said, like it's a free external tool where you can analyze, compare, and evaluate best practices for your reports and models. So it's like an external tool like DAX Studio or Tabular Editor, so where you can use it and it stays within your firewall. There is no data transfer or anything that happens. You can use it without internet as well today. So that's the Powerops Desktop. So let me start the demo of it so we can get started. I'm just opening the Power BI. So as you can see, this is the external tool, Powerops. If I'm clicking on it, it opens the Powerops Desktop. So this is a screen, the landing page that you see, where you have, you're gonna see the recent reports that you open, and you can also upload a new report or a model as well. So either I can select a recent one and click on connect to that more report, or I can upload it all. So let me show you by uploading a recent one. So I click on connect. So it will try to connect the file that is there in my local Power report. So it connected, and for the people who has not seen SaaS version, I just came through what are the functionalities it has. So it has 3 modules in Powerops Desktop. So where you have you can analyze, compare, and best practices. Let's talk about the first one. So analyze. What are the report I just connected? So it will show you the entire the metadata of that particular report, including the dependencies and lineage. So let's see the first one, so which is summary. Summary, we have 2 sections, which is report and data model. Report talks about like pages, visuals, visual types, and filters, and custom visuals, and bookmarks, and pretty much all other details as well. In the data model summary, so you get to see the how many tables that particular report has, how many calculated columns and groups and measures and everything. So let's go to the report section now. So report section has like all the like subsections where like pages, visuals, and many others. So under pages, it shows like what are the different pages that we have here, and what are the other properties like filter pane properties, filter cards as well. So you also have a wireframe view. If you click on this icon, so that takes you to the wireframe view where you can see the wireframe view of your report. And what's even better, you can even mouse over on it and you can see the fields that are being used as well.
Now, essentially, what you do is you're taking the X, Y, and Z coordinates that's built into the visuals, and they're whatever their height and width, basically just mapping out the frame onto the page, correct?
Exactly. So we read the metadata of Power BI report where they have the positions of the layout. So we read the layout file and we render the same positions in here so that it'll be an apples to apples match.
Yep, and I think I do like the fact that there it's an icon provided to help you indicate what type of visual you're looking at as well. Curiously, when you if you hover over one of them, it's okay. Sales amount by order due date. Okay, so you actually get the title. So you get a little context on that. Yep, excellent.
And we are also making more improvements on this. Like maybe in the next version, you will see more things that you can glance from here. At this point, you can see the fields. I can see the filters also, any filters that are affecting this visual or not.
Okay.
All right, so let's come back to table view. In the table view, as you can see in this page, we have these many visuals that are there, and these are the visual types and what are the fields that are being used. So everything in Powerops is filterable. You can just click on this and you can search for filter, and you can also download it in a CSV or an Excel. There are multiple properties for even the visuals that you can click on it, and it shows you the properties in a JSON format here. So we also have the visual interactions. You can see the outbound and inbound interactions as well. And you can click on general. So let's see the general properties. Let me dog this left side one so you can see the full width. So it shows all the properties. So we put an effort like to get it as close as Power BI report shows, like the same way, look and feel. So as you can see, and you can also make the column selections, what you want to enable, what you want to disable. You have the choice to make that selection right from here. So it also shows the custom visuals that if you have anything. So if you're having used and unused. So let me load another file where I can show you more things. The last time I showed you the recent reports where you loaded from. Now let me load it something like a PBIP or PBIX. You can choose a PBIP. I can click on browse, and let's go to choosing one PBIP folder like sales and returns. So I choose this PBIP file, click on open and upload. So it loads it. It is pretty much very quick on this side. So it loads all for the sales and return sample. Now it loaded, it has a lot many pages and visuals, and it shows you everything about it. So let's go back to where we are at. So you can see the visuals here. You have the custom visuals, and we also have filters. So it shows you all the filters, what filters you're using, whether top and basic, and it'll also show you the definitions of the filter too. And you can also see the page filters. And if you have any report level filters, it shows. If it doesn't, then it shows this way. And you have a drill through filters as well. And we also have bookmarks. So as everybody agrees, like the bookmarks is like a black box. So but with
Yeah.
Powerops, yes. With Powerops, you can clearly see what's behind the bookmark also. If you click on it, it shows you the exact details and actions that bookmark does. So what are the report level filters it's being applied, and that bookmark what page level filters, and what visuals it enables, and which visuals it hides it, and what are the fields and what are the selections. So it pretty much covers all the actions that are part of the bookmark. Even if you can find out a cases like where you accidentally opened a filter pane and save the bookmark, you can find it right from here. Is it closed or open? So it's
Hmm.
quite useful if you want to see what's behind the bookmark, and it's even useful when you're doing a comparison. So to see that what you're promoting is what expected under the bookmark or not. All right, and now next one is an action. So in actions, it will show you like what are the buttons, so what actions it is calling. That button is calling a bookmark, what is the value of the bookmark is, and what's the tooltip of it is. And we also have sync slices. It shows you same exactly like Power BI, where what fields are getting synced and what pages and etc. All right, so we also have navigators. So where it shows the page navigators and bookmark navigators. Page navigators is like where you can see all the page navigators that is recently introduced functionality where you can, if you have anything in your Power BI report, it displays here. So it also displays the bookmark navigators if you have any. Right. So let's go to data model. So far we have seen the report section. So in data model section, it shows that all the tables that are there in your model, again, like how you have it in report visual view, and data model also you have a visual view icon, like a model view here. So if you click on it, it shows you the model view, same like Power BI, how you see it. So you can even see the details of it. You can see the what fields being used, and you can mouse over and see the details. You can see which one is hidden, which one is
Hmm.
not. So all those details you can see. The best part of this is like you can see the positions as what you have it in Power BI. Again, it uses the same layout files that we have it in Power BI. So we are able to load it in the same position and the same height and width as well as what you have it in Power BI saved. All right, so let's come back to the table view. So here it shows all the properties, whether the storage mode and what type of tables it is, what types of columns, and all the details. It shows even the measure tables if you have any, and all the properties of your columns. And you also have hierarchies, so it will show you the hierarchies as well. So how many levels, level ordinal of each hierarchy as well it will show. And we also have parameters, so field parameters and numeric range parameters
Hmm.
also, and it shows you those information too. And we also have data groups, shows you the data group information like list, and we also have bins and data sources. So what type of sources this particular file is using it. And we also have relationships. In relationships, it shows you like what are the table to table relationships that you have. So whether it is a many to one or one to many or one to one. So it shows you all the information. And it also shows you that whether it is an active relationship or inactive relationship. Cool. And yeah, there are many other properties to skim through. We also have like refresh policies, as you can see.
Hmm.
So and perspectives too. So if you have created any perspective, that shows here too. So this is about the model. Now we grouped everything under DAX, like what has a DAX expressions. For example, measures, calculated columns, calculated tables, calculation groups, and KPIs. So all these are grouped under DAX. So for example, measures, you can see there are 58 measures in this particular report. So all these measures, you have expressions, you can even copy, and you can even do a formatted copy as well. So it runs both. So it does a both formatted copy and copy as
So
well. And
how does it do the formatted? Is that using like any public API? Is it your own like kind of format design or what? Like what's the format pattern?
so we built our own API on top of that. What's that by some of the DAX parsing that we have been doing it for a while, and so we're able to do that formatted. So it's our uses our internal formatter at this point.
Okay, so again, and that's all offline, like meaning like if you were running this not connected to like the internet, it would still do the formatting. It's just doing that from the package built into the tool.
Yes, exactly. So you don't need to
Yep.
connect to an
Okay.
internet for sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So everything within Powerops tool, so it works within your within your firewall, so you don't need an internet connection to use it. Whatever I'm showing you here.
Perfect.
So cool. So you can filter the measures, you can search for the measure, and you can see the expressions, and you can download it all also, as I said. So we also have calculated columns. It shows you the calculated columns information, calculation tables, and you also have like calculation groups if you have, and if you have KPIs, it'll show you that information also. So far we have seen the report, data model, and DAX. Now let's see something more interesting, so which is we call dependencies. So dependencies is like a lineage. It will find the details like between the lineage among your model to find like how the measures are interdependent. Like, so one measure is being used in other measures, like a nested measures. You can find all the dependencies right from here, which is built on the fly, this diagram, so where you can see, and you can even click on a particular one, and you can even, for example, I'm more interested in the net sales per month, so you can just click on it and you can right click and say filter. So this is gonna like find the lineage only for the net sales per month, both on the parent level hierarchies and also the child level as well. So you can see the lineage in both levels. So you don't need to start from the here. You can even start from searching a measure also. The same thing if I want to search for, like, I'm start typing net. So I see that these things. So I'm interested in the net sales per month. So you click on it. It shows you the same. So this will be quite useful to do the impact assessment. Let's say if you're changing a measure, right? So then you'll know what other measures in your model is going to be impacted. So we also have a table view of the same, so you can click on the table view to see, and you can even search for a particular measure, and you can find the same information here as well. If somebody is more comfortable with table view, they can find it right from here as well, the dependencies. And we also have report dependencies. Report dependencies is like a one step above, so where you can find the dependencies in both, now just not at the model level, but you're also finding the dependencies in the report level also, where you have pages and visuals as well involved now. So the yellow ones are pages and the green ones are visuals here. So if you are trying to find a particular measure where it's being used, you just click on it and say filter. So that shows you that this net sales measure is being used in these 4 visuals, and these visuals are in these pages. So now we know that if we are making a change to a measure, so what pages and what visuals is going to be impacted with that.
And I have a couple questions that are just about to show up, so I'll bring Kyle's onto here. Yes. So you notice that Powerops is currently on a wait list. Any idea how long that will be? We want to make sure not to share the same screen because it's going to get a recursion when we do that, though.
Okay,
so there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'll read the questions after you.
Okay, that sounds good then. So yeah, so we are planning to launch it in the first week, just like maybe in the next 20 days. So unless we have any other trouble, but we are almost there. So we're gonna launch it in maybe in next 20 days.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And one other question from Gopa. We just wanted to know, so with desktop, does this have the ability to look at connected reports? Maybe you can just specify if you're referring to thin reports that are connected to a data set online, but otherwise I'll give that question to you.
Yeah, so it can connect to, right now we are in the phase 1, so which I'm going to talk about the roadmap of the product, but when you click on add file, it's only connecting to the local right now, so where you have it either recently opened or you can upload or something in the local. But we have a plan to open up in the service as well, so where you can connect to service files as well. So that is coming maybe in a month or 2. So we will have that service file connection. You can even connect to a Git or Azure DevOps files too, right from here in this add file screen. So that's coming. But if the question is about thin report, if you have it locally, the thin report, it can connect and analyze today. So
it'll just basically, like that thin report, if you click data model, there wouldn't be anything there because there's no local model, but it'll scan the report layer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'll even scan the report level measures too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, basically everything that's metadata contained in the file, it will scan. It's just what's ever available in the particular file you're scanning.
Exactly. Yeah. It works
Yep.
for
Okay.
that today. Cool. Awesome. So let's see again, the same story. So where you can search on the top if you're finding it, and let's go to the Power Query dependencies. It's more or less like the same that you see it in Power BI Desktop. So where you can find what are the source for each tables and etc. So let's go to M queries now. So M queries is like so it lists down all the queries in all the Power Queries that you have it in your report or model. So you can even expand it and you can see the M query. Again, you also have two buttons here. So one is the copying it and formatted copy as well. You can do it or you can download it also, the M query. And if you want to find an M query, you can search for a specific keyword and it shows you how many things that are matched. You can do like a match case and match whole word too, and you can download even all whatever is matched ones too. So it works pretty good in that sense, and it can also find out like the disabled queries too. So what are the disabled queries? So that you can find out too. All right. Now let's go to roles sections. The roles shows like both RLS and OLS. So where you can see the what are the RLS roles that you have and what are the OLS roles that you have in your report. Awesome. So let's go to the last section in the analyze, which is info section. Info section will show you like a bite-sized insights about your report, like what is your report name, what is your model compatibility level, what is your version that you are using it of Power BI, and what's the theme that you are using, the long ways, and it also shows you some interesting facts like whether you're using auto time intelligence or not. If it is true, that is not good. If it shouldn't be, like it's not recommended to use auto time intelligence, it will find those facts. So we have in SAS version, we are also even started marking these in red color, so whatever. So that will come to desktop as well very soon. So even if you can catch the things like if you're using implicit measures, and it'll also catch the things like if you're using any uncertified custom visuals. So you can find all the good insights in the screen in info section. So on this whole, like analyze gives you every bit of information about your report that you uploaded. It's just not about report, even you can upload a model as well. So if you go to dataset, you
That's
can
nice.
upload a dim file, yeah, or a timdel folder if you have, or you can even upload a .dataset folder also. Like I said, like it works in all the formats that we have, like PBIX, PBIT, PBIP, or if you have it locally open, you can just click on the recent one and click on connect. So that connects to that file. Right. So this is, and it also does the dependencies, as you've seen that the lineage among all the attributes, it will find those things. So this is all about the analyze section. So now let's see the compare section. So compare is like where it compares the two different the report versions. So imagine you have a version that is in prod and the version that you're recently, like you're enhancing it, or you have a local version you want to compare it. So you can do this comparison. Let's say I have this Adventure Work Sales V2 file here. So let me upload another file from here too. So let's say I want to upload the V1 file and I click on connect. So now the V1 file is also got loaded. Let's go to compare section. So I want to compare the V1 with V2 file and I hit compare. So it shows you, it's very quick. So it shows you all the details about your the comparison between the two different files. And it shows you on the number of differences in terms of modifications, and also like the green ones are additions, yellow ones are modifications, and the red ones are deletions that was there. So for example, the report section says like there are 8 modifications and 14 additions. So you can see where are those modifications further breakdown here in pages, how many are there. So for example, you can see the details here, what is being changed. You can even click on the center status button. So I want to click on this modified button. So if you click on it, so you can see the exact difference also. The canvas background color was this, like a white color. Now it changed it to this color code.
But I like that you actually
So
represent the color too in the dot, which is nice.
yeah. So what's even better is that if you try to compare the raw skeleton files between, like if you take the just JSON files of PBIP, you will not even get the color codes. You will get the theme color IDs like 3, 4, and etc. So you really don't know what color changes. Just not that there are many semantics that the Power BI files has. So those will be very different. For example, it won't be called as like page orders. It will be called as ordinal or different terms, so that which will not be apples to apples for the Power BI developers. But we put in a lot of effort to get it right. Even the icons and symbols and the canvas types, everything, we try to show it in the same like in Power BI format, so that you can compare how you see it in Power BI. Right. So again, you also have this visual icons. You can even compare the changes visually as well, where the changes. It shows you the borders. You can click on it and you can see the changes in here, what's been changed. There was a sort by option, now it is no longer like this. So that was a change between these two
Yeah, I
visuals.
did have one question that I'll read off to you. So, if you have a scenario where you actually have a model that has multiple connected reports, is there any way to like collectively get kind of in a single place a list of all of the measures that have either been in the primary model or any of the satellite like thin reports?
Yeah, sure. So that's coming to, so we have it in the phase 2 plan along with the
Okay.
service. We also wanted to scan through XMLA and have all those other reports that are connected to the same model. You can skim through it and find out those things too. Yeah, we have that in plan.
Perfect.
All right, cool. So as you see, it shows you the where are the changes, what are not changed objects. So let's go back to the visual, the table view, so where you can see here as well. So if any changes in here, so for example, if I click on it, it says like, okay, I had a change in the visual type. It was used to be an area chart, now it is a stack bar chart. And you can see the changes in the properties also. This was the category access property has been concatenated labels as now changed as true. So these sort of changes you can identify. So it's pretty good in identifying the changes, exactly where you need to focus on. So it'll also show you that what are the custom that got added, filters, sync slices. Now let's look at the data model comparison. So here it says like the one table got removed. So this has got modified. You can click on and see that there is a new measure that got added in here. And you can also see it in the visual view as well. So if you click on this visual view, it clearly shows you that visual view information as well. Right. So here it's very useful where you to find like the white color backgrounds were not changed. What you see in the yellow that has a change. So you can click on it right from here to and see the differences, what got differences. And you can see the any columns that has been modified, you can click on it and you can see that exactly as what has changed. So it was used to be summarized by sum. Now we removed that. Now it is no longer an implicit measure as well. So these sort of insights and see the comparisons you can find, and you can see that this specific column has been removed and this table got removed. And this is another way around also. So you can see visually what's been changed. And if I just switch the things right from here, as you see, so I can just switch the things and I can do a comparison as well. So now that I switch the things, now it shows like green. So which means like it
That's
makes
really
sense.
nice.
It's got added.
I definitely like the diagram view you shows all of that, so you can actually see it from the schematic perspective.
Yeah, so you don't need to go through and read all the tables to understand, but you can see in a glance to see what's been changed in your model between the versions. Yeah. All right, so the same goes here. So the way you can find the columns, what's been changed, what columns got added, and in each tables, and you also have hierarchies, what got changed in hierarchies too. So for example, this is the level names got changed here, and you also have in relationships, because since we added a new table, it shows like there is a new relationship that has been added. Yeah. All right, let's go to DAX section. So DAX section shows like what's been added and what's been removed. So you can click on it and you can see the exact expression also that got changed. So this was an earlier expression, now it's a new expression is this. So it shows you the measure expressions as well. So the calculated columns in the same way, and let's go to the queries. So it shows like there are two query changes. Click on it, can even dive into the change as well. So click on this, and as you see, it will show you exact in line with like what is the change. Rather than showing everything got changed, so it will show you the exactly pointing to the specific line that has a change. So which is pretty good in that way. And we also have info section. If just like file name got changed, there is nothing else. Like even if you have something like a theme got changed or any other information got changed, it will flag here as well. So this is all shows like all
Quick
the
question,
information
just
between those.
related to some of these changes as well. Is you're doing local files. Where can they go if they want to compare two files that are in either GitHub or like Azure DevOps?
Exactly. That is there today in the SaaS version, so where you can use
Yep.
SaaS to do that. And but if you in desktop is also it's coming in the phase 2 we are doing that. So where we want
Perfect.
to enable both Git and also from the Azure DevOps team.
Excellent.
It will be seamless experience. So you just like in when that is launched, so you just in here you're gonna have local and also service and Git, so you can choose which version, which file you wanna load it and which file you wanna compare it right from there. All right, let's go to the last section that we have here, which is the best practices. So best practices is like so very and it evaluates every bit of your report against the industry standard best practices like from Microsoft. Microsoft like PMs like Michael Kowalski, he blogged about the best practices and also about there's a GitHub link from Microsoft where they host best practices and they keep updating it over the time. So Powerops reads that same Git file and it loads and it evaluates that best practices against the report that you uploaded, and it will flags which ones are passed, which ones are failed in a different sections. So as you see here, we also have report, it's just not at the model level.
Oh, something just froze. Uh-oh. All right, well, let's that's not good. All right, let's see if I can fix this. For some reason the video froze. That's the first time this has ever happened. Is it my internet? No. Oddly enough, I'm still broadcasting, so we're gonna try one thing. All right. Hopefully people are still on. I'm gonna see if I can disconnect and reconnect with Vijay, at least on the call. Let's do this. Connect back on the call, and I'm going to go back to here. Yeah, okay, good. You can still hear me. That is very strange. Like audio and video have never randomly stopped like that. Huh. 130 streams that I've never had this issue. All right, let's see. I have Vijay back on the call. It's just the video stopped randomly. It just froze. Okay. It's the strangest thing.
Am I,
So
can you hear me
you can
now?
hear me. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick reset in vMix and just it's the first time out of 130 streams.
Okay.
Let's see. There's me. I'm working again. Perfect. And now I'm gonna do the same with you. I think you need to turn your camera on though.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that. I see yours, and okay, we're working. Huh.
All right,
First
let
time
me
ever
share
I've
my
actually
screen
had.
back.
Yeah, and then let's share your screen, and then we should be golden. Brand new issue. That's the first time that's ever happened. Yeah, for some reason both our videos collectively froze, but my audio was still coming through. I've never seen that before. Looks like it's coming through. Let's see. Come on. It's trying to do something for the screen share. Okay, here we go. So I can still hear you, and the screen share is working. Can you move your mouse? Okay, everything is good. All right, we're
Okay,
golden.
awesome. So I don't know where we were lost at before the screen share was stopped.
We were just kind of walking
So
through each of the sections, like report, performance, formatting, best practices, passed and failed.
okay, sure. Yeah. So we have the different sections. We have both report and model sections as well. So it uses the same Microsoft rules that the produced by the PMs there, and yeah, so you can dive into it. You can click on a specific tile and get into the C and see what rules you have passed and what has been failed. You also have a priority on the top, so where it says low, medium, and high. So you can disable if you don't worry about like low and medium, you only care about high priority ones. You can just expand it and you can see which ones is like passed and failed, and you can even have you can then fix it and re-upload and reformat it. Right, so I can even enable back and see that what rules has been passed or failed. So you also have the report level rules as well. So to see that the visuals and colors, also you can have like an edit rule section as well here. So where you can edit your rules too. So this is pretty good. So where you can, it will show you all the rules, but if you feel that a certain rule doesn't apply to you, right? So for
Hmm.
example, you say that you think that the visuals must use theme colors. If you think this doesn't apply, just uncheck it. So this is not going to be evaluated when you go back and do it. Or you can have like, if you want to change something or in the expressions, you can change it. So it's all the like, you can see that, like, let's say 720 is the max that it has. If you want to change the number and validate expression and save it, you can save it. Or you can change the priority of this, you can change it. So you can even disable it. So you can make all the modifications. So you can, what's even better, you can even create your own rules as well. So we're even coming up with some documentation around adding your rule expression, so to make it even easier for you to write your own rules too. But by default, it has all the rules from the Microsoft. But down the road, at some point in the near future, where we want to add some community rules as well, so where community experts suggest some rules, so we add them. So but the users can enable and disable based
Yep.
on what they think that is applied for them.
Exactly.
Even
Yeah,
if you make all the changes. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say, and the just the ability to to add and edit, and have your own set, or kind of like what the tabular editor, BPA does today, is like there are GitHubs where you can kind of download rule sets that have been uploaded by other model experts, so you can take prepackaged rule sets and tweak them to your own degree, which I think will be really nice as well.
Sure, yeah. So that's the plan. So we even have a more flexibility in that area. So where you can even use your own local version or use a GitHub, or you can add a link over there, even URL, it will read it from there. Or you can save your own version as well.
Exactly.
And even after your modifications, you can even reset using that reset to defaults. You can even check what you want to reset and you can then submit it. So it's pretty good in that way where you can see the rules. This is like, I think, kind of must have in your Power BI development workflow. So whenever the developers are building the reports and models, so they can review by like self-auditing their reports and models and see what rules has been passed and what has been failed, since it is being like produced by Microsoft. So you kind of can trust the rules to see if these are good enough to judge your report. Uh, and also, yeah, this platform makes it more easy for you to enable and disable and modify and review it all at once. So another best thing is, like, let's say I found that the certain rule has been failed, right? So for example, I have this bidirectional. So I can go back to Power BI and make changes. And in this screen, I just click on this refresh icon and this reloads it and it reevaluates it. It's that quick. And since it's connected to desktop now, so there is no wait time, or you don't need to re-upload the file again. So it will immediately, even that same thing happens with Analyze as well. So you can see the instant things that happen from whatever make changes you're making, it gets updated right from here. Even that same goes with the compare to. All right, so this is the three sections that we have today in Powerops Desktop, so where you can add all the local files. So we also have like, there are many things coming in here. So where you can have like, you can upload your profile information, appearance of your, and the licensing, or it's a free, but if we are also planning to come with some paid license down the road, but not right now. With paid license, you get an additional benefits like customer support and connecting to the XMLA and many other things. And
Okay.
you can also reduce the logging levels and about and all those things. Right.
That's awesome.
All right. Cool. Yep. That's the desktop. And any questions on Powerops Desktop before I move on to the SaaS version updates too?
I think quite a few of them have been answered with the help of James, who's been on chatting a little bit as well on some of the features, and I think a few others with some of those. So I think we're good. If I missed any, feel free to drop the question in again. But otherwise, yeah, feel free to go onto the web version.
Sure. So this is the Powerops SaaS, and SaaS is an end-to-end platform. So it also does version controlling by default. It's a zero-touch version control. It automatically uploads your files into the Azure DevOps on GitHub, and you can also it also does that analyze whatever you have seen in desktop tool. It's also here, analyze, compare, best practice. But on top of it, it also gives you the version history, pull request, and automated deployments as well. So if you want to see the difference, so this is the difference between the desktop and SaaS version. So desktop is for good for like individuals and small businesses, like where they don't want version controlling by default, but they wanted to analyze, compare, and best practices in their workflow of the development. So that's the desktop. And whereas SaaS is like for large organization and enterprises, where has an inbuilt GitHub version, Azure DevOps integration, and you can also do version history, and you can even do the rollbacks as well, and automated deployments too. So that's the difference. Let's see the desktop version too. Sorry, the SaaS version. So let me go in there. So this is the Powerops SaaS website. So the Powerops app. If you're looking for someone to desktop tool, you can join the waitlist using this link. So, and if you're just trying for desktop, so you can just try for free. You can click on this and it takes you to the registration, but I already there. So I'm just signing in directly. I'm using the Azure DevOps for the demo. So as you see, I've connected to the Azure DevOps, the SaaS version, and I can start by creating a repo right from here, or I can choose the repos that has been there. So I'm just writing it like sales repo. It's like a like a workspace name usually. So I'm just putting like 116.2024 today's date. I can add a file. So I can choose an adding files, or let me choose a PBIP file. In SaaS version, it is only the PBIP that is supported by default. So I'm just adding this version folder. And so what it does behind the screen, it actually uploads my report into the version control system like an Azure DevOps, and it creates the repo directly for me. So as you can see, that repo has been added, and it shows you the same details that you can see, analyze, compare, and best practices, the same information that you see it in there. So I'll also show you like quickly like what exactly does it behind as well. So the repo name that we have just put it is like sales workspace 0116. So let's go to repos here. So this is the repo. So I click on it. So you can see that just now it's got uploaded. So it automatically uploads it. There is no learning curve for somebody to know the Azure DevOps or GitHub. So it automatically version controls. And you can even do the version controlling like between the branches too. Let's say if I want to create a new branch, so I just see as easy as clicking on plus button and say I want to create a dev branch, and I want to add a new file and click on browse, and let's go to the maybe the version 2 of the same. Let's go back here, Powerops and PBIP folder. I want to add this let's say this v2 folder. I click on upload and say. So now I'm creating the dev branch out of main branch, but just not creating a branch, I also added a new file as well. So as you see that in main branch, I just have one file, v1. In dev branch, I have two files, the v2 and the v1 too. So now I can do a quick compare between the dev branch, the v1 file with the main branch v2 file, and click on compare. And it does the same thing. Like this is the v1 and this is the, so let's use the v2 in there and click on compare. It compares between the two different branch files, and it shows you the results of the same way. Right. So it also evaluates that you have it in here, and evaluates the best practices. So let's come back to analyze. I quickly want to show you this thing, the differences. So we also added the color codings here, as I said, like, so what's been failed, or the things that has been failed as well in info section. And we also have a new thing that's called version history. So it will also show you the version history of as well. So what you have been changed. For example, I will show you something like, so let's say if I want to show this like any other old reports that I have. So I can see the version history of that per specific file that we have it, and it will show you, and you can even you can even download that particular version and restore it. Let's say if I have multiple things in here and the version history, right now I just uploaded it, so it has just one. But if you have multiple things, I can always check on it and I can restore the file as well in the back in the version history. So this is all possible. And the another thing is like you can even modify something. Let's say I want to modify this particular file. You can click on this and say modify, and you can even upload that particular file, any file that you have it, and then it shows that specific changes as well that has been there in a compare style before you commit. There are a lot more features in SaaS version. So this is more like an enterprise friendly in general.
So, question with the projects and the repos. So,
Mhm.
Ulrich just wanted to know: is it possible to have connections to GitHub and Azure DevOps at the same time?
Not in the, so you have two logins. Like let's say if I'm logging out here, so either you logging in
Ah,
through
okay,
portal with GitHub or an Azure DevOps. It's either or, but it
okay.
works
So
seamlessly for both.
okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. So you can access them, but you have to start from the login perspective. So,
Correct, yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay. So essentially, I would say like my recommendation with that is, if you have Firefox or any of the other browsers where you can have separate groups of sessions with their own cookies and logins, just simply have two tabs, and you can be logged into both at the same time. You just have to have two separate browser tabs for it.
That's right. So yeah, but within the same, like connecting to both Azure DevOps and GitHub, I don't think it makes sense in general where to use it.
Yeah,
Either you will be using Azure DevOps. It makes at least a seamless integration with the rest of the things that is going to come, like deployments and pull requests, which makes it easy if you're connecting with one particular platform.
exactly.
Either one. Yeah. All right. Cool. And yeah, so we have seen the desktop, we have seen the SaaS version. So the people has a questions on the data security. So just want to iterate on that. Like Powerops never stores or transmit any information. So the desktop is always like it works without internet. It stays within your firewall, and there is no transmission of data or storing of the data happens, because it just reads the data that you have it opened and it shows you in a presentable format, and there is no reason for it to store any of the information that you have. So that's the, and even the SaaS version. So SaaS version has the metadata storage in your Azure DevOps only. So we don't store anything in our servers or any transmission of the data happens. So both the desktop and SaaS doesn't store on transmit. So we also have a page dedicated for the data security. So if anyone has a question, so they can go and refer there. And we also have a SOC certification as well on the Powerops tool, so that certifies that there is no issue with the data security in there. Cool. All right, let's go to the roadmap of what we have in desktop. So desktop, as you have seen the tool, so far we have released an external tool for Power BI, and right now we are launching it in the next 20 days. And so we have analyze and dependencies, comparing, and best practices. So all these are things are planned for Q1. And in Q2, we have a plan of integrating with the service as well. So in that case, you can even, let's say, you can refer when you're clicking on adding files, so you can refer to a service version as well, like to your Power BI account and related. Imagine a scenario that you're connecting and comparing with your local version, what you have it locally, versus the version that is in production workspace in your service. You can compare it and see what you have it in prod versus what you have it in local, what has been changed. So that will be pretty useful in that scenario.
That'll be really nice. Yeah.
Right. So that's coming, and we also have the integration with Azure DevOps and GitHub also in the local Powerops Desktop is coming as well. And we are also coming with some paid plans so that people we can keep supporting the tool, and who
Hmm.
have more need for more files and etc. So we are planning that as well. And there is a lot more planned on this Powerops Desktop itself. So stay tuned on this thing. But yeah, so we are committed to launch it next month for sure. The external tool for Powerops Desktop.
Excellent.
All right, now let's go to the SaaS roadmap. So SaaS, we're already delivered in Q4. So where is the automated version controlling, as you've seen, analyzing dependencies, comparing, and best practices. And we are in phase 2 for it right now. So where we just delivered the version history, which I was showing. So where you can see the versions. So it's quite useful that way, so that you can even roll back the things as well. So right now I don't have modification, I just uploaded one file, but if you have modified it and you have versions, you can even restore the, let's say maybe the version 30 or back in the date, so like last month, and you can click on restore and you can restore it, and you can download that particular 30 version as well. So you can compare between the versions and commits too. So, and we also delivered an advanced compare as well. So where if you go to compare and you can click on this advanced now. So you can, right now it is only branch level comparison right now, but if somebody want to compare at commit level, so now you can do a commit level comparison as well between the commits too.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have tags as well now. So you can compare at the tag level as well, right? By default, it's going to be branch level. So this has been delivered, and we are working now on the pull request and the rest of the things that has been planned for Q1. And in Q2, we want to do the automated deployments and no code pipelines without you writing a single line of YAML script. So where you can have an Azure DevOps and GitHub workflows. So doing the deployments automatically, and you will have an approval workflow also where you can review the pull request and also review the best practices along with the pull request and all the tests that you can run, and then you can approve that, and it does an automated deployments. So you don't need to write a single line of YAML scripts, and we are more excited for this thing when it comes in. Awesome. So yeah, that's the Powerops Desktop and Powerops SaaS versions. So how to get started? So you can use the Powerops Desktop join waitlist. You can join there, and we will soon out send the emails to you guys in the next month. So with the when we are ready with the for the installation for the desktop. Whereas SaaS, you can try it today. So you can register into the Powerops app for free, connect to your GitHub or Azure DevOps account, and then you can try for free. If you have any questions about like the product features or pricing or any other thing in general, or data security, any questions, or please feel to report or reach out to us at support@powerops.app.
I'm dropping the links in the chat right now. Okay, excellent. And I'll have a couple questions spun up so I can flip back to our screen here. That way you could actually put the screen up if you'd like, but I will drop a few of these up into here. So let's see. Gopa had another follow-up just kind of on some of the road mapping and what type of parity will there be between the free desktop version and the paid version? And wondering if that's related to the XML endpoint or maybe just some clarity on what the planned parity will be between the two of them.
The desktop version, free version will have like again, so free version will not be able to connect to this XML endpoint or even the service also. So if you want to compare some report from local with the something in the service, so that won't be in the part of the desktop version. Desktop version will keep supporting the local files, and also there won't be another difference would be like with the GitHub and Azure DevOps. So the free version won't be able to connect to the GitHub and Azure DevOps by default.
Okay.
And there will be a limit on the files too. So there are certain, like since it is designed, the free version is designed for this like in individuals or small business teams. So that will be have a file limit cap on it. How many files that you can upload in a month. Okay. But again, like the paid feature is going to be very, very reasonable, even the pricing for that. And yeah, if somebody wanted to have a customer support and all this service endpoints and desktop, like GitHub and version control endpoints, then they can go with the paid. Otherwise, you can continue to use for free forever.
And I think to follow up to James, and you already just talked about that a little bit, but the making the desktop and SaaS talk to each other. So it sounds like if you're using the paid version, the desktop install will give you the exact same features as opening a web browser, but with the added benefit of that you can scan local files. You don't have to just do the Git. So if you're paying for the SaaS version and you've downloaded the desktop app, you'd be able to do either service scans through your repositories or just local files.
That's right. So in SaaS, if you purchased a plan in SaaS, I think the desktop paid version will come for free. So there is no additional cost on the desktop one also. But we have the plan to integrate the desktop and SaaS together. In the paid plan of desktop, you will anyway able to connect to the GitHub and Azure DevOps and read the files right from there.
Okay.
But we want to go a step further on it. Like we even wanted to make it more easier, whatever coming in SaaS. So we want to bring it to the desktop also down the road.
Perfect. And let's see. We already answered that one. And then Yannick had one as well. Is there any API to interact with Powerops? Thinking about using some features such as a CI/CD pipeline, for example.
Yeah, so the CI/CD is out of the box in Powerops itself, so you can do everything that you want to do it outside, like with Azure DevOps today if you're using it, or GitHub. So you can do it within Powerops because Powerops automatically creates the CI/CD pipelines for you. So in the next version, in the next phase, we wanted to do that, like the automated CI/CD. But if you have a use case where you wanted to trigger a Powerops deployment of a report with some a different Snowflake or something, so we have a plan to give that API as well. So where you can call that API outside Powerops.
Okay, excellent. Perfect. And I don't think I see any other questions, so that was about it. As we wrap up, if anybody has any remaining ones or one that I might have missed, again, drop it with a Q into the comment thread, and we'll get that answered. But no, this is, I think, some continuing happy improvements to get seen with your desktop app. I'm looking forward to some of the additional features that are coming out as well for this. But I think myself and a lot of people in the chat, the two ones that seemed the most interesting are just the bookmark documenter. Like that's one of the hardest things to record, and that provides a pretty good interface to reduce the complication as much as possible for something that is by its nature fairly complicated.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get the exposure of that. That and the best practices analyzer for sure. So James mentioned that once the official documentation comes out on the functions and syntax, and just help people like write all their custom functions, I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited to start creating their own little personal packages of best practices.
Awesome. So I forgot to mention one more thing, that we are also coming up with a automated documentation for your reports and models. So using Powerops desktops, both in desktop and SaaS versions, so you will be able to generate a documentation automatically, a well-crafted documentation of your report and model. So that is also in pipeline, so that we plan to deliver it soon too.
Excellent. Okay.
So you don't need to write your own documentation for your Power BI report. So
beautiful. Yeah, that will be super helpful as well. And yeah, just reading some of the comments. Looks like everybody's just very happy, super excited about some of the stuff coming out. So I think well done. You've built a really fantastic tool, but I think as we're wrapping up, is there any closing remarks or anything else that you want to wrap up with as we finish this off?
Yeah, I think we are excited for Powerops Desktop and Powerops SaaS. So feel free to try out the tool. Feel free to reach us if you have any questions. So yeah, otherwise join the waitlist or try the Powerops SaaS right now. Let me know what you guys.
Yeah, perfect. We can do that. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on with all of this. This has been fantastic. And as you continue to evolve the product, I look forward to having an opportunity to get you back on at some point in the future for this as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and everyone have a great weekend.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Cheers. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want to help support this channel, take a look at our channel memberships or our merchandise store for cool swag. And last but not least, please consider sharing this video on your social media platform of choice to help our channel grow. So, until next time.